Let's talk about Harrison Butker fully participating in practice today. Trent McDuffie trending upwards for a Sunday return against the Bills. More injury updates. Look at some presser snippets from coaches today. Then let's talk about Mahomes laying the hammer down on the offensive line during the Raiders game. Von Miller giving mad props to the Chiefs and much freaking more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs. So make sure to sub if you're new, hit that like button, all that good stuff, and let's get into this video, starting with an updated injury report as of Thursday, October 13th. Now, as far as the Chiefs go, Brian Cook didn't participate Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll see if he plays. They're cracking down on the concussion protocol, and I'm totally fine with that. Protect the players, please, at all costs. Rashad Fenton didn't participate Wednesday or Thursday with a hamstring injury. Chris Lammons with a hip pointer. He didn't participate Wednesday, but was a full go today. So we'll see what his status looks like tomorrow, Friday, and that should give us a bit of a direction on if Chris Lammons is going to make it onto the field on Sunday or not. Tershawn Wharton again tore his ACL, didn't participate. Some good news here. Harrison Butker was limited on Wednesday, but a full participant today. The last time he tried to participate in practice in a limited capacity, things didn't go so well. It aggravated his foot, and he was actually out and hasn't played. So he had one day that he was limited, and I think that's about all he's done. Well, he was limited on Wednesday, but it was a full participant today. But according to Dave Tobe, he's thinking that Harrison Butker could very well play on Sunday.
He looked good at practice. We're going to practice him again. It's day to day. Really, we'll get both guys ready, and we'll make a decision probably
How much comfort do you feel that maybe Harrison can go this week?
I feel good. He looked good as long as we don't have any setbacks. We got to keep working him, and we'll see. We're not ready to say, yeah, he's in. We got to wait, but he looked good yesterday.
Specifically speaking, does he have his multiple step?
Yes, he's back to his normal steps.
And of course, if Harrison Butker is not good to go, Matthew Wright will be the kicker, who looked really good the first week he played with us, making all 5 PATs and both field goals, but was a bit more shaky Monday night against the Chokeland Faders. Shout out to them. 1-4. How's it going? But he was a bit more shaky. Bounced a PAT off the crossbar, missed a field goal, and would have missed another one if it wasn't for that defensive holding penalty. So I would like to see Harrison Butker out there. We'll just have to see how he does. Frank Clark limited yesterday, did not participate today due to illness. And man, at this point, I'm beginning to really feel for Frank Clark. He's been battling some chronic illness. It was hinted at today during the press conferences as the coaches spoke. And if Frank Clark isn't out there practicing, he's basically on a contract year. He wants to either get another contract with the Chiefs or some other team. So for him to be missing, the second half of Monday Night Football, missing practice or practicing limited, and today didn't practice, all due to illness. I just feel for the guy. He's got to be in a lot of pain. And as somebody who deals with chronic pain myself, I just feel for the guy, man. I also want to note this. Yesterday, I forgot to mention it, I think, but Trey Smith has been a full participant in practice all week, and he did not play on Monday Night Football against the Raiders. Remember, Nick Allegretti stepped in for him, and we need this man. We're going to talk more about the offensive line later. So Trey Smith, full participant all week and should be good to go for Sunday. Great freaking news. But as far as other injuries for the Chiefs, that was it. Mike Dana, who was limited yesterday, was a full participant today, and everybody else fully participated in practice as well. So all good news there. As far as the Buffalo Bills, you have Christian Benford, cornerback, limited. Tremaine Edmonds, their linebacker, limited. That's both Wednesday and Thursday for both of these guys. One has a hand injury, one with a hamstring. Tywan Jones, running back, did not participate all this week. Dawson Knox, their tight end, limited yesterday and today. Wide receiver Jake Kumaro did not participate yesterday or today. And there's a couple other guys. Von Miller was limited yesterday and had vet rest, I believe, today. He's getting a bit older, but shout out to Von Miller. We'll talk about him later in this video. He gave some awesome props, really, to Mahomes, Arrowhead, Derek Thomas. More on him later, but he is a class act 100%. Mitch Morse, familiar name. He was limited yesterday, but fully participated today. And then they had 2 more guys. There's a lot on here, man. Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, hamstring injury limited yesterday and today. And then safety Jordan Poyer, dealing with some sort of rib injury, limited both yesterday and today. If Jordan Poyer is not a go for Sunday, that's a big loss for their secondary, considering Micah Hyde is already out for the season with that neck injury. I believe he just recently had neck surgery as well, so we will definitely have to keep our eyes out there. I know that took a minute, but God, there was a lot of injuries. So hopefully these guys are healthy and good to go come Sunday. I also want to note several coaches spoke to the media today. Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator, gave props to Von Miller. Then he said the most important letter of the alphabet is a W, which I like that a lot. Then he specifically gave praise to Mecole Hardman for his performance against the Raiders.
I thought Mecole did a heck of a job this weekend. Probably one of his better games that he played, this entire season. And the thing that was impressive more than anything was what he did when the ball was not in his hands. Just some of the perimeter blocking. Those are the things that stand out, not just to me, but to us as an offense.
Yeah, Mecole Hardman came in clutch on more than one third down conversion against the Raiders. I just hope his heel gets better. He was on the injury report with the heel injury as well, but has been a full participant all week. But it's definitely something he's been battling with basically since week 2. The defensive backs coach Dave Merritt spoke as well. He said that he thinks, Lord willing, Trent McDuffie will be able to play against the Bills this Sunday.
Yesterday we were just kind of, going through it pretty slow. Today it'll be a great test to see him go and pick it up full speed. And I asked him, has he opened up and had full speed burst? And he said yes. So it's going to be interesting to see today.
Is it realistic to think he could play
yes,
Sunday?
I think so, and I'm praying and hoping, my fingers crossed, that he's able to go out there.
We'll certainly find out more soon. However, the Chiefs are not required to list McDuffie on their injury report until he's been activated to the 53-man roster, so we may not even know until Friday when Coach Reid speaks to the media, so that'll be tomorrow. So we'll know tomorrow. He then spoke talking about Dave Merritt again on the Bills QB Josh Allen and his ability to run as a mobile QB and what his secondary has to look for with that, but also his very strong arm.
His skill set is he has probably one of the strongest arms. Sometimes he'll just zip the ball in there knowing that maybe he should not have made that particular throw, but his arm is so strong that he's able to actually get the ball in places that most quarterbacks cannot. And I think he's probably going to be the best that we face this season thus far.
Well, that's high praise to Josh Allen, and I wouldn't argue that fact either. Josh Allen is QB2 in the NFL right after Patrick Mahomes. Both of these guys are legends. Next up was Chiefs defensive coordinator Coach Spags. He spoke about the main goal of the defense against the Bills this weekend, and that being points allowed and limiting those.
And I think Josh Allen's always looking for the big play. So it's like on every down. It's not like a third down thing. Hopefully we maintain our depth and don't give up the explosive passes, because that's when, the explosive passes and the explosive runs lead to points allowed. And our biggest focus is just on the points allowed. That's the biggest thing for us.
While that may be their main goal, the Chiefs right now are 23rd out of 32 in points allowed per game with an average of 25 points per game, and sadly, they've also allowed a TD in the red zone 81% of the time, which is 31st in the league. Not great. Basically, 4 out of 5 times that an opposing team has been in the red zone, they have allowed a touchdown. So when you're against somebody like Josh Allen and company that are very good at putting up points over and over again, we got to do better. We got to do better. Anyway, on to something positive for a moment here. QB coach Matt Nagy shared about part of the success the Chiefs are finding on offense, and that's Patrick's decision-making, him learning to be more patient, getting more in tune with the new receiving core, and opting to intentionally make very few risky throws.
I think that's the other thing here that he's doing is his decision-making right now is he's protecting the football. He's making great plays with his legs. He's extending plays, which he's always done. But respect and protect the football, and it's at an elite level right now.
I don't have his stats pulled up at the moment, but I think he has something like 15 TDs on the year and only 2 interceptions. Being safe, being efficient, moving down the field, shorter chunk plays with no Tyreek Hill, but effective. The offense, we've talked about them, phenomenal. Anyway, from here, let's talk about something that while the Chiefs offense is doing well, there's an aspect of it that is indeed struggling, and that's the offensive line. Let's look at a couple of these stats here. The Chiefs are ranked 27th overall in number of total pressures allowed on the QB at 54 total, 23rd overall in QB hits with 18, 32nd Overall, yes, dead last in QB hurries with 28. Not good, and that is mainly on the tackles because the interior trio, Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, it's probably the best interior trio in the entire league. The tackles, in particular, have been struggling, and hopefully they begin to click and get better as time goes on. I will say this, they were also in particular struggling during the first half against the Raiders. The O-line gave up 3 sacks and 6 pressures, but then something changed, and in the second half, they allowed 1 sack and 1 pressure. So what was that changed? Well, probably a little bit of some coaching schematic changes, but also Patrick Mahomes had a little chat with the offensive line.
I just challenged them. I was like, hey, we're going to win or lose this because of y'all. I mean, they're playing man coverage. We have to attack downfield, but you're going to have to protect. And they responded. You saw from like the end of the second quarter on, I mean, those guys kind of held those guys at bay, and those are some great pass rushers. So you like to see that out of a veteran offensive line now.
Yeah, Orlando Brown Jr. said in his presser that Pat basically said, do your job. So I'm glad they started doing their job. Now, they were without right guard Trey Smith against the Raiders. They had Nick Allegretti in, but no excuses. Mahomes, reportedly, per Andy Reid, put the hammer down on them. And then, of course, they rose to the occasion.
If that guy handles himself the right way, we always talk about if his closet's clean, then he can do that. He can, put the hammer down a little bit on guys and they respond. So, and they all know he works hard, he's competitive, he's smart. And so they respect it when, if he needs to give him a little juice.
So yeah, Mahomes is the leader of this team. They all respect him. They know he puts in the work. They know he carries them at times because while the offensive line is struggling in the stats I read just a bit ago, he's only been sacked 8 times, which is only like 4th or 5th least. It's like tied for 4th or something in the league, which is pretty freaking good. So considering all the pressures, all the hits, all that, he has only been sacked 8 times, been carrying in that. And then, in spite of all that, the Chiefs' offense is 1st in average points per game, 3rd in their ability to score red zone TDs, all the while struggling with that O-line. So I'd be curious to know what all he said to them. Of course, in his presser snippet there, he said, we're going to either win or lose this game, depending on how y'all do in the second half. And they rose to the occasion. They ended up winning this game. But it was a little bit stressful, to say the least. And yeah, I hope against the Bills, who have an incredible D-line, including Von Miller, I hope they do a little bit better. That's probably the most worrisome thing about this game. And I'll do my game preview video tomorrow, Chiefs versus Bills, but that's a big worry. But let's keep on this train with the Buffalo Bills for a moment here, because not only did Patrick have great things to say about Von Miller, which you'll see here, but Von also had great things to say about Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, Von's a special player. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer. He's won 2 Super Bowls because of his leadership and obviously his play. And it's someone that you have to know where he's at on every single play. And he's a Texas guy, man. Those Texas guys know how to play football.
He just evolves with the game each and every year. There's never been a quarterback that has played the game like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the definition, of a Hall of Famer. He changed the game. Nobody has ever played the game like he has. He's left a mark on our sport. He left a mark on our league.
Von Miller also spoke very highly of Chiefs former right tackle Mitchell Schwartz.
Mitchell Schwartz gave me the hardest of times, like when he was there. And I always had respect for Mitchell Schwartz, one of the best right tackles that I ever played in my whole entire career, if not the best, because I played him so much. I'm not afraid to say he was the best.
And finally, he gave a huge nod to Arrowhead, saying he loves playing there, and to the legend himself, Derek Thomas.
And I'm looking forward to going back to Arrowhead Stadium. Derek Thomas is my favorite player to ever play the game. I molded my game after him. He was the reason why I wore 58 in Denver. So every time I'm on that field and I'm warming up, I look for that 58 that's on the the Ring of Honor, and give him a moment of silence and give him my energy, because I want to continue to try to play the game the way he played it. So Arrowhead Stadium has always been a special place for me, and they got a tough team like they usually do.
And I'm not gonna lie, that end about Derek Thomas, it didn't make me cry, but it got me in the feels a little bit, just thinking that this guy modeled his game after Derek Thomas, chose his number because of Derek Thomas. And when he goes to Arrowhead, he finds Derek Thomas up in the stadium and gives him a proper moment of silence. What a classy dude, man. Just someone who legit loves this game and has a lot of respect for the Chiefs, even though he was a Denver Bronco and lost to them a lot. He talked about that in his presser too, saying, yeah, we basically lost to them for years and years on end. That part was kind of funny, but he was all class. And another guy who's been pretty classy, at least towards Mahomes, is Josh Allen, QB. Buffalo Bills, Allen. What am I saying? I don't know, but he had a couple of things to say about Mahomes in a recent interview as well.
He's a fantastic player. He's a fantastic person. I think if you look at his accomplishments so far in his career, they dang near top anybody that's ever played the game of football. It's stupid some of the things that he can do with the football in his hand. Playmaking ability outside of the pocket, spin moves and all these weird, crazy side arm angle throws. So plays the game as good as anybody that's ever played it. So I've got so much respect and admiration for him and his game.
You got to love hearing that. And I share all this because this is going to be a very tough game. I just think of the last time these two teams played, the divisional game in the playoff. That's the morning I started my channel, actually, was the morning before that game happened. Pretty crazy. 13 seconds, all that good stuff. What a wild game that was. Anyway, more on that tomorrow. For now, what are your thoughts from today's video? You're excited to have Butker and McDuffie back, Lord willing, both of them. What are your thoughts on Mahomes and what he said to the O-line to motivate them to win in the game versus the Raiders? Are you a bit nervous about the O-line? What about the class act that Von Miller is, Josh Allen, all that? Let me know in the comments down below, and we'll fight about it down there per usual. Make sure to sub and like if you haven't already. Then check out this video here. Pew, pew. Which YouTube thinks you're really going to like. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?